Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Broken Reality channel. Today, I would like to talk to you about a holiday that I made up. Okay, it's not really a holiday, it's kind of something that I came up with on my own. I call the week before Thanksgiving the last normal week of the year. It is the last week before you really get into the rush of the holidays. Next week's Thanksgiving, then we're off to the races with Christmas, and it's holly jolly time to celebrate and be happy. Okay, well, I think you should celebrate and be happy all the time, but this, at least the week before Thanksgiving, is a week that I kind of identify to do it of your own accord, just from your own internal motivation, and not because the calendar's telling you to do it or there's holidays coming up. And of course, the holidays are good for thinking about the things that you're grateful for, but it's just an opportunity for me to take stock. And that's what I like to do on this week, is for me to take stock of this year, what I've done, what I've accomplished, what, my successes, my failures, my joys, my disappointments. Just take stock of the year and take a good, honest look at myself. Have I grown this year? Have I evolved? Have I made forward momentum and progress towards my goals? I really think that it's just a good time to do that without distractions. Now, I know I've been out and about. I know the holidays are already on us. I've seen no fewer than 7 Christmas trees in the past week. And the Christmas songs are out there. I've seen the ads. They started before Halloween. I've been to the stores. I've had Veterans Day and a couple of days off here recently where I've gone out and tried to take advantage of some Veterans Day sales to do some holiday shopping and get some Christmas gifts, because I like to spread that out. We do shop for a good number of people, and it's just a wise thing to do. But it's kind of good to have that week before Thanksgiving to take stock before the pressure's really, really on. Because we all know that the activity levels, the schedules pack up, the events pile up. There's all this stuff that to do. You want to do it. You want to spend time with family and friends. You want to do this for all of these people. But just before everything starts happening, and you can't do it all, and we'll address that and prioritizing your holiday celebrations once we're actually in the season. But for now, I want you to take advantage of having one more week of 2025 to consider how to take care of you. Now, we don't want the holidays to be stressful, and of course it you're forcing people to get together and do things that are outside the norm, and mixing up your schedule and everything. It is disruptive. Now, it's a good disruption, but it's a disruption. And of course, we all also have our own personal situations with family, with friends, with life circumstances and situations. We all have our own things going on. And again, like I said, we'll talk more as we get into the holiday season about coping with that. But for right now, what I really want you to do is spend this next week considering how to stock your toolbox, your emotional toolbox, to make sure that you're taking care of yourself and you're at least going into the season in a good mindset. Now, I don't mean for this to be a stressful thing. It's actually supposed to be kind of a decompression, and okay, let's just slow down the gears on 2025 for just 1 minute and take a time out for me. A personal time out, just to consider, what do you want? What do you need? What have you accomplished this year that you're proud of? What do you wish that you had done that, maybe you didn't succeed, or you didn't get around to it, or it failed? Take stock before the pressure of the holidays comes on. Even those pesky New Year's resolutions. We'll talk about that later too. But just take good, honest stock about who you are, where you are, what you want, what you don't want anymore. Just be honest with yourself. And I think it's a good time to do it. It's a good time to get introspective and think about all of these things and just give it some consideration. What worked, what didn't. I like to take this last normal week of the year to really take stock and look back on, how have I grown this year? Have I grown this year? How have I grown? What's changed? What's on the horizon? What am I preparing for? Am I taking steps towards my goals each day? Is it adding up? Is it taking me in a right direction? It's just good to kind of kick back and relax and just engage in some self-care to do that, to take that introspective look. Now, beware. When I say self-care, it doesn't mean what you always think. You know, we think that self care means, get a glass of wine and a bubble bath and da da da. Well, for one, I'm more of a tacos and margarita type. For another, um, self care really means, in the context that I'm talking about using it in this next week, as doing today what tomorrow you will be happy with. I've addressed this in previous blogs and probably previous videos too. But it's not just about, taking care of yourself isn't always about kicking back and relaxing. Sometimes it's digging in and doing what needs to be done. For example, this past weekend, I wrapped Christmas gifts that I've already got. I hate wrapping Christmas gifts. It was a chore. It was kind of stressful. Really kind of ground on it. But it's done. And you know what it helped me do? It helped me get stock of what other gifts I need to get, what gift wrapping supplies that I need. And now it's done. When we go to put up the tree, over half of my gifts are bought and done. Now I know exactly what I need going out to finish preparing for the holiday season, getting the rest of the gifts, getting the rest of the materials. No waste, no fuss. I know exactly what I need and I can get back on that track. No more confusion, no more disorganization. I took an hour out of my Saturday, and that was my self-care for Saturday. Take an hour of your time to just do some planning. Yes, I know Christmas is a long way off, but it's done. And I'm so glad because, I don't know about you, but my schedule's always looking crazy. The week after Thanksgiving is absolutely insane for me. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so messed up. I'm going to be running all over the place. And I'm sure a lot of people can say that, but I'm just trying to think ahead and plan ahead. And I had that hour to spend, and that's what I did with it, and I'm glad. I felt so much better when it was done. And then I got myself dressed and went out to dinner with friends. House was clean and stocked, the gifts were wrapped and done, my lists were made to finish it up, and I could kick back and relax and had a good time. And it really mattered, and I call that self-care because it helped me mentally. It freed up some mental time and space in my mind. Now, there are some times when you need to sit down and you need to think, okay, you know what? I'm done. We're taking a time out. I've done that too. My husband is a master mason, and sometimes, they frequently have meetings and they're usually after work, and very often when he goes to those meetings, that's my me time. I mean, sometimes I work on my writing. Sometimes I do videos like this, do blogs. Sometimes I just sit behind the TV with a bowl of beef stroganoff and watch whatever I feel like watching that particular day, depending on my mood. And that's it. That's what I do. I just take a time out. And it helps because I usually get up the next morning. I feel better. I feel refreshed. The inspiration's back. The ideas come back. I've given myself that space to rest and relax and just kind of turn off for a while and restore. And that's it. And what I want you to do this week, and what the point of this week is that I'm trying to make to you, and what I'm challenging you to do, is to determine what self-care looks like to you and to find the discernment to know exactly what does self-care mean for you. Now, going into the holiday season, this is going to be very helpful because you're tired. Well, are you tired because you weren't getting enough rest, or you're trying to do too much and you need to take time out? Or you didn't plan your schedule well enough and you need to just sit down and try to figure out a wiser way to do things, better way to plan, ask for help, things like that. Self-care can mean so many different kinds of things. And the point of this last normal week of the year, I know for me, and what I'm challenging you to do this week, is to determine how to stock your personal toolbox to know how to determine what's right for you and when. What do you need to do to take care of yourself? When you know when to look for those cues, those triggers of when you need to stop and take a time out and ask yourself, what do I need right now? How to answer that question. How to have the tools available to know what's going on in your mind right now and what you need to deal with it best. Because, can I be very unflattering right now, but honest, the holidays are full of meltdowns. You don't want to be one of them. So okay, come on, let's just be honest. Meltdowns abound during the holidays. It's going to start next week. Trying to clean house, trying to cook all this stuff, get all this food together, all these people together. Oh my God. No, no. We are not going to do the holidays like that in 2025. So let's spend this next week getting ourselves rested, strengthened, restored, and ready for the holiday season in 2025. Swing by my blog. I have more on self care and some tips, some steps on how to do it, and recipes. Yeah, I'm not one of those who keeps my best recipe secret. I'll blast it out to the world. In fact, I do every year, and I'm going to do it again. So check by the Broken Reality website to get all of this and more. In the meantime, enjoy your last regular week of 2025. Have a lot of fun. Take care of yourself and get ready. It's here. Happy holidays. Bye, everybody.